All right, let's just go in here. Okay, we're back. We're back out on the course now.
Beautiful day.
How was the last several, days, weeks, whatever, in terms of practice on the short game at all?
Yeah, definitely. More so at home with everything going on.
Yeah.
With the pandemic, unfortunately.
Yeah. Coronavirus has changed our lives.
Yeah, you bet. But I got a pregnant wife at home and a nice little.
Congratulations! That's awesome. I forgot to say that before.
Oh no, thank you. So spending a lot of time in the backyard working on the chipping and pitching and just keeping the swing, still there. Mentally staying focused.
Okay, good. So hopefully working on some of those things with the pitching that we talked about and some of the things with putting and what have you, looking at those and trying to get and maybe charting our short game a little more, specifically.
Sure.
To help us decide what we need to practice on. That always helps as well.
Yeah, I've rolled quite a few inside the house as well, but can't take too much off a carpet. Yeah. So taking as much feedback as I can, but perfecting the stroke still.
All right.
Getting comfortable with it.
Doing what we can.
That's right. Absolutely.
I love it.
You bet.
Today we want to talk about kind of wrapping it all together with a mental and a game strategy, mentalization, visualization, the mental side of it. A lot of people have said golf is 98% between the ears, 2% between the hands.
Sure.
Kind of stuff. Whatever percentage they said, whatever percentage you agree with, it's more you got to agree that it is a very mental game.
Absolutely.
And you got to think your way around. You got to understand, your strengths and weaknesses, and use those to your best advantage. Because the whole objective is to get the ball in the hole in the least amount of strokes.
That's right.
However we do it.
Low score on the card.
Yep.
That's right.
As Gary McCord said, there's no pictures on a scorecard.
That's right. How we
it's
get
not
there?
A postcard. It's a scorecard.
Yep, that's right.
So how we do it and how we get there, let's just figure out.
Might be a little different, but
it might be.
That's right.
Jim Furyk's swing is a little different, but he gets it done.
He does. That's right.
So first, let's talk about the mentalization or visualization, mental imagery.
Oh, perfect.
And what that means. So a lot of people think, mental side, I got to be strategic. I got to think, where are my, where's the strengths and weaknesses? Where should I not miss it? Or where should I hit it to be safe and all that? There is that component, but mental imagery is actually imagining the shot in your mind.
Okay.
Actually visualizing it in your mind.
Okay. Really painting that picture.
There was a story of Larry Nelson. If you remember Larry Nelson, the PGA champ.
Of course.
He was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. And when he was in captivity, he would play the golf course, his home course, every day in his cell. And he'd shoot 65, 66s. He'd play every single shot mentally. And he had enough mental discipline to, I hit that one, I hooked that one left out of bounds, so I have a penalty stroke. I mean, he knew the course, and he did that. And then when he came back out after, months and months and years of captivity, he went to his home course and he shot like 68.
Incredible. Just from mentally still being there.
Because he was mentally there.
Sure,
he was able to just, train his mind to do that. And that's just one story, but
that's pretty
it's kind
incredible.
of the imagery of saying, let's figure out the shot, let's mentally get it into our mind, and then let's transfer that mental imagery to our motor skills, which are our arms and legs and our muscles, to make that happen.
Sounds great. Absolutely.
And the story, the drill of, we talked about it in one of our previous sessions about picking a target and picking a branch or a leaf of a target.
Right.
I think that helps us focus that mental image, and that's
really brings in the visualization with the mental imaging.
Keeps it. So once we have the mental side of things, we've figured out mentally with the shot, we try to then visualize the shot. I actually want to see it, and sometimes you see Jason Day on a tee and he closes his eyes. And he's like, chanting a mantra, to Yama or something.
Sure.
But he's not. I mean, he's sitting there, he's watching the shot in his mind.
He's really mentally focused.
He doesn't want any distractions. He gets it up. I'm going to hit a slight draw. It's going to be 10 feet right of my target. Draw 12 feet, so I'll be 2 feet left, because that's where I want to miss it. If I'm going to miss it, I want to be on the low side, miss it. He's doing it all in his mind.
Really breaking it down.
With his eyes closed. You didn't see my eyes closed because I have these dark glasses on, but...
Sure, likewise, but we are out in the desert here with the 100-degree sun now. So.
That's why I have a vest on. So.
Sure, yeah, you bet. Help repel.
So that's the visualization then is, the key for once we get the mental imagery of our skills, the shots we want to hit, the skills necessary to hit those shots that then can help transfer to our body, to our motor skills, to our arms and legs and our muscles. Helps the neurons and synapses in our brain figure out how to do all of that down there.
Sure.
I hope they can do it better than me because because I'm an idiot a lot of times, but I think we all are.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we get up here, as an example on this tee, we get up here and we say, this is now I want to visualize, if I know I want to hit, as an example, a high fade,
Sure.
and I've mentally gone through the process of hitting a high fade, and I've got that image, and I've got that ingrained in my motor skills development. I've got a program in my mind that says I want to do, a high fade. Now I got to visualize the high fade here on the tee. Pick my target for that high fade, where
Right.
I want the ball to start on my target line,
Where you want it to finish.
where it's going to end on my
Absolutely.
target line. Then I'm going to pick the club I want to hit that high fade with
Right.
to get it the distance I want to hit
And that trajectory that
in
you're
that
looking
trajectory you want. All the things we talked about in pre-shot routine, and then and then I'm going to sit there and I'm going to see the shot.
for. Sure.
Absolutely, I hit it perfectly
Yourself.
every
basically
single
hitting
time.
That shot.
Yep, I hit it perfectly in my mind.
Right.
I see the shot and I come up and do it.
That's perfect. I mean, like we said on an earlier lesson, unless you mentally picture yourself actually perfecting the shot,
Yep.
you're not going to be able to do it.
I agree.
You're not going to have the confidence to
I agree. That's
have
a
what's
great,
necessary to go out there.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Absolutely.
That's a great point because if you don't think you can do it,
Yeah.
you'll only do it by accident every once in a while.
Absolutely. You're trying to impress everybody else, but if you can't even
Yeah.
do it yourself, you're never going to have a chance.
Yep. So with that given as a backdrop,
Sure.
then let's talk about some game management, some strategy
Okay.
side of things. Tell me what you think the importance of a game plan is.
Okay, sure. Well, basically, starting off with an idea to basically where you want the ball to end up is huge for your starting off. So you're going to have to basically evaluate in which club you're going to tee off with
Mhm.
from tee to green, and also where maybe the hazards are on the hole, or how you're going to basically play that hole shot by shot.
Okay.
So that's basically going to be my game plan. How am I going to get to the hole and in the hole in the lowest amount of strokes?
Okay.
So I would start off, by feeling comfortable with what I'd want to hit off of the tee box, and then getting to a comfortable number to hit into that green, rather than maybe be hitting a driver every time,
Yep.
and then maybe at an uncomfortable wedge area close to the green or something like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it's a great point because you were sitting there saying, I'm not just, it's a par 4, so I got to hit a driver.
Right.
It's par 5, I got to hit a driver, or whatever. You're saying you're chunking it up into, I'm going to try to get this done in 4 shots or 3 shots.
Exactly. Breaking
And
it down. Yeah.
How do I hit my 3 best shots? This is a par 4 as an example. How do I hit my 3 or 4 best shots to get into a birdie or a par?
Right. I mean, exactly, because this hole, like, let's say, is roughly 340 yards.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to blast a driver down there and say you hit it perfect, hit
Yeah.
it 300 yards down there, you're still at that awkward 40-yard
Exactly.
wedge shot. So you really have to evaluate if it's going to benefit you
Mhm.
in hitting the driver every time, or putting something into play like a hybrid or a long iron and having a full wedge or a low iron shot into that green, feeling comfortable.
Good, good, very, very good, very appropriately said. On that, I used the example of, and a lot of other people have, starting from the green backwards.
Sure.
So if you happen to know and have the information, the pin's on this side of the green, it's front, middle, back, and then you come back and say, well, I want a 90-yard, because I want a full 60-degree
Exactly.
wedge in there. So it's 90. So I know I got to be 82 yards from the middle of the green because the pin's back.
Sure.
And then then from here to get to 82 yards, I have to hit it 240
Right.
or 210 or whatever. So
Whatever
I don't
that
need
may be.
whatever that may be.
Exactly.
That kind of stuff. And I need to be on the right side of the fairway because the pin's back left.
That's a good way of looking at things, because sometimes playing it tee to green rather than green to tee, like you were describing there,
Mhm.
you don't really get the full feel of the whole hole, just the start of the hole, rather
Right.
than when you're starting off with the green there.
Okay.
You're right. You get a really good idea of the yardage throughout the whole hole.
Okay.
That's a really good idea.
Good, good.
Okay.
Well, we've got this 340-yard hole.
Okay.
It's a nice, pretty hole.
It is.
It's
Very
got
nice.
some bunkers there, to the left that are daunting. They're a little lower, so they're a little
higher lipped if you get into those. You've got some moss and mounding on the right
Absolutely.
over there. We're on the tee. Tell me how you would play the hole.
Sure. So, having played this hole before, luckily it benefits me knowing where to miss. But the bunkers on the right, I can get to knowing I'm going to hit a hybrid here. This club goes anywhere from 220 to 240.
Yep.
So that way I know I still have a full, anywhere from a lob wedge to a pitching wedge, full short wedge in.
Yep.
Comfortable with that number. So that's why I've chose the hybrid. So I'm going to hit that off the tee. I know my shot shape is typically right to left, just a few degrees with the hybrid. So I'm going to aim just inside of that bunker.
Yep.
That way, also knowing that my miss typically would be more of a hook or a left. The bailout area on the left side, which is the rough, I'm comfortable hitting there rather than hitting from the hazard out of bounds on the right.
Yep.
So I'm going to play inside of the hazard on the right and just play my typical right to left ball flight.
Very good. I love it.
All right.
Turn, baby.
A little help.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
So pretty straight at that bunker. Didn't tail as much as I thought it would, but hit it pretty strongly. Good swing. Feel okay about it.
All right. Let's go see it.
All right.